be a modern king, to learn all there was to learn of Western culture. So he brought to Siam a school teacher from England. This is the story of my school teacher, Mrs. Anna, and the powerful king of Siam, and of how their meeting changed many lives, most of all, their own. Our story begins 30 years ago, in 1862, when I was just a young girl. This ship is the Chao Siam. It has sailed from Singapore up the Gulf of Siam and is now making its way slowly along the winding river that approaches Bangkok, the capital city of Siam.
Louis! Louis! Oh, Louis, there you are. Good morning, Captain Norton.
Good morning, ma'am.
Louis, look, there's Bangkok. Do you see that cluster of lights?
I see them.
It's exciting, isn't it?
I wonder if you know what you're facing, ma'am. An Englishwoman out here in the east?
Look, Mother, a boat with a dragon's head and men carrying torches.
That's the royal barge.
Do you suppose that's the king sitting under the gold canopy?
That's the Kralahome, sort of prime minister. The king's right-hand man, you might say.
Do you suppose he's coming out to meet us?
No doubt of it.
They all look rather frightening, don't they, Mother? Father would not have liked us to be afraid, would he?
No, Louis. Father would not have liked us to be afraid.
Mother, does anything ever frighten you?
Sometimes
What do you do?
I whistle. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune, so no one will suspect I'm afraid. While shivering in my shoes, I strike a careless pose and whistle a happy tune, and no one ever knows I'm afraid. The result of this deception is very strange to tell, for when I fool the people I fear, I fool myself as well. I whistle a happy tune, and every single time the happiness in the tune convinces me that I'm not afraid. Make believe you're brave, and the trick will take you far. You may be as brave as you make believe you are. You may be as brave as you make believe you are.
I think that's a very good idea, Mother. You know, I don't think I shall ever be afraid again.
Good.
Make believe you're brave, and the trick will take you far. You may be as brave as you make believe you are.
You may be as brave as you make believe you are.
Sir, and welcome to Siam.
He called you sir.
Hush, dear.
Pleased to present the Kralahome.
The Kralahome is a man of great power, the king's most trusted advisor.
Sir, the Kralahome wishes to know, are you the lady who will be the schoolmistress of the royal children?
Yes.
Sir, the Kralahome wishes to know, are you married?
I am a widow.
What manner of man deceased husband?
My husband was an officer in Her Majesty's army, and tell your master that his business with me is in my capacity of school teacher to royal children. He has no right to pry into my personal affairs.
I don't think I would, ma'am.
I don't like that man.
In foreign countries, it's best you like everyone until you leave.
Your Excellency, I had no idea you spoke English.
It is not necessary for you to know everything at once. You come with me now. Your bags are carried to the palace later.
But I am not living at the palace.
Who say?
The king says, the king has promised me a house of my own.
King do not always remember what he promised. If I tell king he break promise, I make anger at him. I think it's best I make anger at him about larger matters.
I'm sorry, Your Excellency, but I came here to work, and I shall take nothing less than what I have been promised. And that includes a house of my own.
You will tell king this?
I will tell king this.
This will be very interesting meeting. You come with me now.
Your Excellency, I have made a bargain, and I shall live up to my part of it. But I expect a bargain to be kept on both sides. I shall go with you now,
To the palace?
for the time being.
approximately twice the size of the United State of Wyoming. Siam is a beautiful country alive with many colors. Introduce to you the King of Siam.
Who? Your Majesty, I present Luta, emissary from court of Burma.
I bring you present from the Prince of Burma.
Am I to trust her with a Burma, or is she a spy?
She is not a spy, Your Majesty.
My name is Top 10. You are pleased that I speak English.
Ha!
King is pleased with you.
Your Majesty wishes me to leave?
I will tell you when I wish you to leave.
Your Majesty, I present Madame Leonowens.
Your Majesty.
You are school teacher?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Good. You may start work.
There is a matter we have to settle first, Your Majesty.
You are part of general class I have to bring to Siam. It is good in Western culture. Already, I bring a printing press here. For printing.
Yes, I know. Before I signed my agreement, I found out all I could about Your Majesty's ambitions for Siam.
Ha! This is scientific. Good. You are pleased with your apartments in palace?
Actually, my young son and I found it rather confining, with guards at the doors not permitting us to leave our quarters.
Strangers cannot be allowed to roam around palace before presenting to king. You could look out the windows.
Yes, Your Majesty. We have seen New Year celebrations, funeral ceremonies, etc., etc., etc.
Etc. What is this? Etc.
Well, according to the dictionary, it means, and the rest. All the things we have been doing while we have been waiting. The fireworks.
Best fireworks I ever see at funeral. How do you like my acrobats?
Splendid, Your Majesty. Best acrobats I ever see at funeral.
Ha! Splendid.
How many children have you, Your Majesty?
67 altogether. But you shall teach only children of mothers who are in favor with king. Ah, Lady Tian. Madame Leonowens, this is Lady Tian. head wife. Lady Tia, you will help Madame Leonard with her school teaching, as she in her turn will teach you the better English. She is grateful to me for my kindness. Captain, she arrived today. She is present to me from Burma Prince.
She is a present.
Madame, you have English books for me to read?
Of course I have.
I wish most to read a book called Small House of Uncle Thomas. It's by American lady Harriet Beecher Stowe.
A woman has written a book?
A very wonderful book, Your Majesty. An American book, all about slavery.
Ha! President Lincoln against slavery. No? Me too. Slavery, very bad thing. Lady Tia, you take Captain to her quarters and prepare royal children for presentation to school teacher.
Your Majesty, in our agreement here...
I think you will teach my wives too. Those wives who are in royal favor.
I shall be most happy to teach your wives, even though that was not part of our agreement. Speaking of our agreement reminds me that there's a matter of my house.
What house?
The house you promised me.
You teach in palace, you shall live in palace.
If that's how it must be, then I'm afraid I will have to return.
Ha! You'll stand here to meet royal children,
But Your Majesty...
the royal princes and princesses.
taught us many English words and songs.
Please to recite proverb you have learned yesterday and writing down 12 times in your copybook.
A folk for today. East or west, home is best.
East, west, home best. Home means house. Every day, always something about the house. Are my children to be taught nothing more?
Yesterday we were taught that the world is a round ball, which spins on a stick through the middle. Everyone knows that the world rides on the back of a great turtle, which keeps us from running into the stars.
But how can it be that everyone knows one thing, if many people believe another thing?
Then which is true?
The world is ball with stick through it, I believe.
Does that mean you do not know? But you must know. You're king.
Someday, you too will be king, and you too will know everything.
But when will I know that I know everything?
When you are king. Now leave me. When you are king. But I am not sure. I'm not sure of anything. When I was a boy, what was better spot? What was so, what was not. Now I am a man, what have changed lot. Some things nearly so, others nearly not. There are times I almost think I am not sure of what I absolutely know. Very often find confusion. In conclusion, I concluded long ago. In my head are many facts that as a student I have studied to procure. In my head are many facts I wish I was more certain. I was sure. Is a puzzlement. Shall I join with other nations in alliance? If allies are weak, am I not best alone? If allies are strong with power to protect me, might they not protect me out of all I own? Is a danger to be trusting one another. One will seldom to do what other wishes. But unless someday somebody trusts somebody, there'll be nothing left on earth excepting fishes. Oh, sometimes I think that people are going mad. Sometimes I think that people are not so bad. But no matter what I think, I must go on living life. As a leader of my kingdom, I must go forth. Be father to my children, and husband to each wife, etc., etc., and so forth. If my Lord in heaven would show the way, every day I try to live another day. If my Lord in heaven would show the way, every day I do my best for one more day. But is a puzzlement.
Mrs. Anna was a wonderful teacher. I can still remember the school song she wrote for us. We work and work from week to week at the Royal
It is a present to us from His Majesty, your King.
The Lord of Light.
Yes, the Lord of Light.
The white is Siam.
Siam, not so small.
But look, England is even smaller than Siam.
Before I came here, Siam was to me just like that little white spot. But now that I have lived here and met the people of Siam, I'm beginning to understand them.
You like us?
I like you very much indeed. It's a very ancient saying, but a true and honest thought, that if you become a teacher, by your pupils you'll be taught. As a teacher I've been learning, you'll forgive me if I boast, and I'll now become an expert on the subject I like most. Getting to know you. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. Getting to like you. Getting to hold you like me. Getting to know you. Putting you my way nicely. You're my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I'm with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed, really I'm bright and beautiful because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. Getting to know you, putting it my way but nicely. You're precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I'm with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed, suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day.
My goodness, this started out to be a lesson.
What is that green up there?
That is Norway.
Norway.
Norway is a very cold place. It is sometimes so cold that the lakes and rivers freeze, and the water becomes so hard you can walk on it.
Walk on water? How is it possible? Hard water?
Not only hard, but very slippery too. When people walk on it, they fall down and slide, and the raindrops will change into little white spots that look like lace. This is called snow. Snow?
Spots of lace.
Yes, Your Highness. The water freezes on the way down to the sky.
There's not a word of truth in it. I do not believe in such a thing as snow.
And I do not believe Siam is so small. believe there was such a thing.
Snow?
No,
Ah, yes. From mountaintop.
from the sky.
From sky to mountaintop. I've seen pictures. Switzerland. Land all white. With snow.
That's right, Your Majesty.
Who does not believe this? Do not ever let me hear of not believing school teacher who might bring here a great expense, 20 pounds each month. Sterling! Children must learn, teacher must teach. Not waste time instructing children in silly English song, Home Sweet House. You do to remind me of breaking promises I never made, etc., etc., etc.
Your Majesty did promise me a house, a brick residence adjoining the royal palace. Those are your words in your letter.
I do not remember such words.
I remember them.
I will do the remembering. Who is king here? I remind you, so remember that. I do not know of any promise. I do not know of anything, except that you are my servant.
Your Majesty, indeed, I am not your servant.
Your mother has bad manners.
Your father has no manners at all.
Louis, Your Majesty, if you do not give me the house you promised, I shall return to England.
No, please not go. Do not go to England.
We learn, will you, school teacher?
I believe in snow.
Do not let her go away.
I let her do nothing. That is not my pleasure. It is my pleasure to stay here, in palace.
No, Your Majesty.
Why wish you to leave all these children, all who are loving you so extraordinarily?
I do not wish to leave them. I love them too, quite extraordinarily. But I cannot stay in a country where a promise has no meaning.
You will say no more about this promise.
A land where there's talk of honor and a wish for Siam to take her place among the modern nations of the world. Where there is talk of great changes, but where everything still remains according to the wishes of the king.
You will say no more! No more!
I will say no more because I have no more to say. Louis.
Out! 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 So big the world. Siam, very small. England, very small. All people, very small. No man big enough for to be alone. But king? King different. King need no one, nobody at all. I think.
What is it, Lady Young?
Will you go to King?
Has he sent for me?
No, but he would be glad to see you. No one has ever spoken to him like you did today in the schoolroom.
No one has ever behaved to me as His Majesty did today in the schoolroom.
There is more distressing thing. Our agents in Singapore have found letters to British government from certain people who wish to take Siam away from King. They describe King as barbarian.
That is outrageous. He's many things I do not like, but he's not a barbarian.
Then you will help him?
You mean advise him?
It must not sound like advice. King cannot take advice, and he will not bring up subject. You must bring it up.
I cannot go to him. It's against all my principles.
He wished to be a modern king, with Western ideas, but it is hard for him. He needs special help. Mrs. Anna, he needs you. This is a man who thinks with his heart is not always wise. This is a man who stumbles and falls, but this is a man who tries. This is a man you forgive and help
Ah, Mrs. Anna. I think your Moses shall have been a fool. Here it stands written by him that the world was created in 6 days. You know, and I know, it took many ages to create a world. What is your opinion?
Your Majesty, the Bible was not written by men of science, but by men of faith. It was their explanation of the miracle of creation, which is the same miracle whether it took 6 days or many centuries.
You have come to apologize?
I'm sorry, Your Excellency.
Good. You apologize.
Your Majesty.
I accept.
Your Majesty, nothing can alter the fact that in my country, anyone who makes a promise...
Silence! Do you not have any respect for me? Why do you stand tall over my head? I cannot stand all the time. And in this country, no one's head shall be higher than a king's. In my presence, you shall so conduct yourself like all other subjects.
You mean on the floor? I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I shall try very hard not to let my head be as high as yours, but I simply cannot grovel on the floor. I cannot work that way or think.
You are a very difficult woman. But you will observe care. That head shall never be higher than mine. If I shall sit, you shall sit. If I shall kneel, you shall kneel. Etc., etc., etc.
Very well, Your Majesty.
It's promise?
It's promised.
Good.
Is there anything Your Majesty would like to discuss?
Why should I discuss important matters with women?
Very well, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, I was wondering if there has been any news from abroad.
Ha! Yes, there are news. Certain English thieves who wish to steal my country call me a barbarian.
Barbarian? But this is a lie.
A false lie. British diplomat now awaits asylum to see for himself. Diplomat Sir Edward Ramsay.
Edward?
You know Sir Diplomat?
I knew Sir Edward many years ago, before I was married. What have you decided to do about the situation?
You guess.
Well, if someone were telling a lie about me, I should do my best to show them the truth.
Yes, that is what I shall be doing. But how? You guess how I shall do this.
Well, my guess would be that when Sir Edward arrives, he shall entertain me in a especially grand manner. Then he will return to England and report to Queen Victoria that you are not a barbarian.
Naturally. That is what I shall be doing.
Of course, put your best foot forward. This is just an expression, Your Majesty. It means to be at your best, to show him your most intelligent men and your most beautiful women.
But shall it be proper for Sir Diplomat to see my woman with no shoes on the feet? Shall it be proper for them to put their best bare feet forward?
We shall dress them up in European fashion. How many women can I steal for me?
All women in kingdom. Everybody, watch, etc., etc., etc.
How much time shall we have?
That depends on how many ports he's talking to. Let's just say we have 1 week.
1 week?
In that time, whole world was created. Moses said. Are there any details I cannot think of yet?
We shall give him a fine dinner, European dinner,
I was going to.
and a ball with music and dancing. And we can present a play. Tim has written a version of Uncle Tom's Cabin for us to perform.
Ha! A theatrical performance. In such a splendid evening, you will see that I'm not barbarian. Line up, line up! For the next week, the men and women of my kingdom will work in preparation for arrival of Sir Edward Ramsay. What?
Your Majesty, this is the arrival of Sir Edward Ramsay.
Now?
He must have come directly. No stops.
But we're not ready.
Not ready, Your Majesty?
I have planned best idea I ever get.
Still, we can do it, Your Majesty. We shall put Sir Edward to bed.
Tomorrow morning, we can send him on a sightseeing trip.
We shall start now this minute. We have only 18 hours,
But first, we shall ask help from Buddha. Bow, bow, bow! Bow! O Buddha, give us the aid of your strength and your wisdom.
Oh Buddha, give us the aid of your strength and your wisdom.
And help us to prove to the visiting English that we are extraordinary and remarkable people.
And help us to prove to the visiting English that we are extraordinary and remarkable people.
Help also Mrs. Anna to keep away for scientific sewing of dresses, even though she be only a woman and a Christian, and therefore unworthy of your interest.
And help also Mrs. Anna to keep away for scientific sewing of dresses, even though she be only a woman and a Christian, and therefore unworthy of your interest.
A promise is a promise. Your head shall never be higher than mine. A promise. And Buddha, I promise you, I shall give this unworthy woman a house, a rich residence adjoining the royal palace, according to agreement, etc., etc., etc.
And Buddha, I promise you to give this unworthy woman a house of her own, a brick residence adjoining the royal palace, according to agreement.
A palace of kings is one who is not happy. She wishes to leave Siam, but it is forbidden. She meets secretly with the man she loves. This is very dangerous.
Should you not be there to begin your play? I came out here to practice my lines. I think not. I've seen you in the emissary from Burma together. I do not tell King. But this man, Lunta, will leave Siam tonight. Tonight? Now go to the theater, top team.
Not enough. There is nothing we can do, Lunta. I am watched too closely. Must we go on forever, hiding our love like this? You must go now. I will be missed, and they will start searching for me. When I return, it will be to take you away from here. There is no way, Lunta. There is a river. There are boats. I will find a way. Oh, if it could only be. It will be. I swear this. When all is arranged, I will give word to you. I shall pray, Lunta. When you see a flower such as this, it will be a sign that I have come for you. Watch for it. I will be ready.
Captain, they're looking for you at the theater. I think you're both being reckless. You will be killed if they find you here. You must leave at once.
Death is not worse pain than empty life. We are leaving tonight.
Leaving? How?
Do not ask how. It is better if you do not know.
We shall never forget you, Mrs. Anna. Never. God bless you both.
She instructed in the style of the European dress, and she supervised the cooking of the European dinner. Everyone was eager to assist Mrs. Anna as so to make proper impression upon the British diplomat. Lady Tian was especially helpful, knowing how important this evening was to be for our father.
many have the evil eye. Eye looks into your soul and traps it. That's nonsense.
Mrs. Anna. Here shall be a list of subjects you shall try to bring up for talk. On such subjects, I am very brilliant. It will make great impression. We begin with Moses.
Your Majesty, Sir Edward Ramsay awaits.
We are now ready, Mrs. Anna?
We are now ready, Your Majesty.
Bring British diplomat for presentment to me.
He will eat us. He will do nothing of that kind. Now form a line, ladies, and please try to smile. I must say, you're all quite beautiful.
Your Majesty, may I present Sir Edward?
He has the head of a goat. Evil eye! Evil eye! Oh, Edward, this is dreadful.
Why are we not educated in the English custom of spying glass?
Oh, my monocle. Was that what frightened them?
Your Majesty, may I present Sir Edward Ramsay?
An honor, Your Majesty.
Welcome to Siam.
Anna, my dear, you're looking lovelier than ever.
Thank you, Edward.
Do you hear that? Isn't that the song we used to dance to back in England?
Oh, I think so.
Do you still dance much?
Not very often.
You should. Do you ever get lonely?
Not at all. I love my work here. The children need me, and I love them too.
Dancing after dinner.
His Majesty was most happy to learn of your visit. Weren't you, Your Majesty?
I was happy.
Your Majesty, dinner is about to be served.
Dinner.
In that case, we'd better be going in, Anna.
Yes, but to be going in. Anna?
His Majesty made an interesting observation the other day about Moses.
Really?
Your Majesty and honorable guests, the royal children and I beg to put before you small house of Uncle Thomas. House is a kingdom of Kentucky, ruled by most wicked king in all America, Simon of Legree. Your Majesty, I beg to put before you loving friends. Uncle Thomas.
Dear Uncle Thomas,
Little Eva.
blessed little Eva,
Little Topsy.
mission maker Topsy,
Happy people.
very happy people.
Your Majesty, I beg to put before you one who is not happy, the slave Eliza.
Legree. She hates her king and fears him. This king has sold her beloved to faraway province of Ohio. Beloved's name is George. George! Baby in her arms, also called George. George! Eliza said she'd run away and look for her beloved George. George! So she bid goodbye to friends and start on her escape. Not only with soldiers, but with scientific dogs who sniff and smell and thereby discover all who run from king. Make the river water hard, hard enough to walk upon. Buddha make a miracle. Angel show her how to walk on hard water.
live in a small house. Uncle Thomas.
Dear old Uncle Thomas.
Little Eva.
Listen, little Eva.
Little Topsy.
Mr. Maker Topsy.
Beloved George.
Her beloved George.
Looking like angels to Eliza. They have all escaped from wicked Simon and to make happy reunion. Topsy glad that Simon died. Topsy danced for joy. I will tell you what Harriet Beecher Stowe say, that Topsy say. I specs, I's the wickedest critter in the world. But I do not believe Topsy is a wicked critter. For I too am glad for death of king, of any king who pursues a slave, who is unhappy, and wishes to join her beloved. And your majesty, I wish to say to you, your majesty, and honorable guests, I will tell you end of story. It is very sad ending. Buddha has saved Eliza, but with blessing of Buddha also comes sacrifice. Wish that he will come and thank him personally for saving Eliza and me. So she died and go to arms of Buddha.
The evening was a great success, Your Majesty. I enjoyed Princess Tuptim's play immensely.
This play did not succeed with me. It is immoral for a king to drown when pursuing a slave who deceived him. Immoral! Immoral! Captain shall know of my displeasure.
Your conversation at dinner was most amusing.
I was forced to laugh myself. I was so funny.
My stay has been most enjoyable. I am certain that Queen Victoria will be quite pleased.
Ha!
I shall take my leave with Your Majesty's permission. Goodbye, Anna, my dear. It was lovely seeing you again.
Goodbye, Edward. Well, Your Majesty, I do hope you're pleased.
I do wish to say that you have been great help to me in this endeavor. I wish to make gift. I have hope you accept. Put on finger. Put on, put on.
Your Majesty, I do not know what to say.
When one does not know what to say, it is time to be silent.
Your Majesty.
You will please to stay up all night until we have further report on Tuptim.
I intended to do so, Your Majesty.
Is there something wrong with Tuptim?
It is not of any matter to me. It is of greater interest that the English think highly of me. It appears I have made excellent impression, and that they will not think me barbarian.
This is what you intended to prove.
What we intended to prove. Tuptim is missing from palace. You know something of this?
I knew she wasn't happy.
Why unhappy? What greater honor for a young girl than to be embarrassed of king?
Your Majesty, if Tuptim is caught, shall she be punished?
Naturally. What would you do if you were king?
I believe I would give her a chance to explain. I will try not to be too harsh. Your Majesty, of what interests you is one girl like Tim. She's just another woman as a bowl of rice. It's just another bowl of rice.
Now you understand about women.
Your Majesty, I don't know if I can ever make it clear to you. You do not look on women as human females. They are, well, take yourself for instance. You're not just human male.
I am king.
Exactly. So every man is a king and every woman a queen when they love one another.
This is sickly idea.
It is a beautiful idea, Your Majesty. We're brought up with it, of course. But try to imagine a young girl at her first dance. It's very exciting. When you're young and you're sitting on a small chair, your eyes cast down, terrified that you'll be a wallflower. Suddenly, you see two black shoes, a white waistcoat, a face, and it speaks. We've just been introduced. I do not know you well, but when the music started, something drew me to your side. So many men and girls are in each other's arms. It made me think we might be secretly occupied. Shall we dance on a bright cloud of music? Shall we fly? Shall we dance? Shall we then say goodnight and bid goodbye? Oh, just when the last little star has left the sky, shall we still be together with our arms around each other? And shall you be my new romance? On the clear understanding that this kind of thinking, hey, shall we dance? Shall we toss? Shall we dance?
Why do you stop? You dance pretty. Go on, go on.
Your Majesty, I didn't realize I was, well, in my country, a girl will not dance alone while a man was looking on.
But she would dance with a strange man, holding hands, etc., etc., etc.
Yes, well, not always a strange man, sometimes a very good friend.
Good. We dance together. You show me. Teach, teach, teach.
It's very simple, the polka. It goes 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. Shall we dance
1, 2, 3, and
on a bright cloud of music? Shall we fly?
1, 2, 3, and
Shall we dance?
1, 2, 3, and
Shall we then say goodnight and bid goodbye?
1, 2, 3, and on my chance. When the last little star has leave the sky,
Shall we still be together with our arms around each other? And shall you be my new romance? On the clear understanding that this kind of thinking.
shall we dance?
Shall we dance? Shall we dance? Splendid, Your Majesty.
Splendid, yes. But this is not the way I see you and British diplomat dancing tonight.
Yes, it was.
No, we're not holding two hands like this.
Oh, no.
Was like this. No?
Yes.
Come.
We have found Tuptim.
Where is she?
They are bringing her now.
What will you do with her?
When it happens, you will know.
No, please, no! This is Anna! Do not let them beat me! Do not let them!
She was found on Chinese sailing ship. It is believed she was running away with men who bring her here from Burma.
Dishonor! Dishonor! What?
Mrs. Anna! Your Majesty, I can't believe you're going to this dreadful thing. You are a barbarian. This girl hurt your vanity. She didn't hurt your heart. You haven't got a heart. You've never loved anyone, and you never will.
I saw you!
I cannot believe you're going to this dreadful thing. You are a barbarian.
Am I king or am I not king? Am I to be disrespected in my own palace? Am I to take orders from English school teacher?
No, not orders.
Silence! I am king, as I was born to be, and I am to be governed in my way. Not English way, not French way, not Chinese way, my way. Barbarian, you say? There's no barbarian worse than a weak king, and I'm strong king. You hear? Strong!
Take her away. You have destroyed King. Now cannot be anything that he was before. You've taken all this away from him. You have destroyed King.
Next boat, no matter where it goes, I shall be on it. Give this back to His Majesty.
I wish you'd never come to Siam.
So do I. So do I.
The call home is correct. Mrs. Anna's words have changed the king. She has become very ill and wishes to see no one. Meanwhile, Mrs. Anna and Louis have prepared to leave Siam. The last of their belongings have been loaded onto the ship for their return to England. Lady Tang and Chu Longhorn rush to the dock to meet them.
Mother, what is wrong with my father? It is his heart. Mother, I'm frightened. I'm frightened because I love my father. And also because if he dies, I shall become king. And I do not know how to be.
Many men learn this after they become king.
Chulonghorn!
Lady Jiang, how nice of you to come say goodbye. I do not come for myself, but I come for one who must see you quickly. You may tell your Majesty I am no longer subject to his demands.
Mrs. Anna, he's dying.
Oh no, Lady Jiang, what happened? Who can say what it is that makes a man die? A sad heart that no longer wishes to go on beating? Ever since the night of the great banquet, he has shut himself away in palace, turning from all who would speak to him, not willing to sleep or to nourish himself, searching through many books, only to push them away in despair. Doctors warn him he must change his ways quickly. Mrs. Anna would not listen. I had no idea. When King heard you were sailing, he wrote this letter. It was very difficult for him, Madame. Very difficult. He commanded that I bring it to you.
Please to read it to all of us. I would like to hear what my father has said.
While I am lying here, I think perhaps I die. This heart, which you say I am not God, is a matter of concern. It occurs to me that there shall be nothing wrong, that man shall die. But all that shall matter about man is that he shall have tried his utmost best. But I do not wish to die without saying his gratitude, etc., etc., etc. I think it is strange that a woman shall have the most earnest help of all. But Mrs. Anna, you must remember that you have been a very difficult woman, and much more difficult than generality. I must go to him.
Mother, I thought you and the king were very angry with each other.
We were, Louis.
Now he's dying. Does that make you better friend?
I suppose so. We can't hurt each other anymore.
I didn't know you did.
When two people are as different as we are, they're almost bound to hurt each other.
Was he as good of a king as he could have been?
Louis, I don't think any man could have been as good a king as he could have been. But this one tried. He tried very hard.
You really like him, don't you, Mother?
Yes, Louis, I like him.
I like him very much indeed.
Many days I did not see you, Mrs. Anna. And now I die.
Oh no, Your Majesty.
This is not scientific, Mrs. Anna. I know if I die or do not die. You are leaving Siam. When?
Very soon, Your Majesty. In fact, I can stay only a few minutes.
I too am leaving, but not of my own free will. Why is your head above mine? I'm not afraid of that which is happening to you. You teach Chulalongkorn. Chulalongkorn teach me. Make believe you brave. It's a good idea. Always.
You are brave, Your Majesty. You're very brave.
Here is something that is belonging to you. Put it on. Please. Wear it always. Good evening, my children.
Good evening, my father. Oh, Mrs. Anna, please do not go away. Will you stay? Do not go away.
Hush, children. Did you come to see your father or Mrs. Anna?
It is all right, Lady Jiang. It is acceptable. Was it not said to me that someone had written a farewell letter to Mrs. Anna?
Yes. Princess Ying Yaola has composed a letter to Mrs. Anna. She cannot write. She only recites words.
Speak letter now. Say it, say it, say it.
Dear friend and teacher, my goodness gracious, do not go away. We are in great need of you. We are like one blind. Do not let us fall down in darkness. Continue good and sincere concern for us, and lead us in right road. Your loving pupil, Princess Ying Yaola.
I will never forget the letter I recited that day.
Do not leave us. We are afraid without you. Afraid.
How frightened I was at the thought of Mrs. Anna leaving us.
When you are afraid, make believe you brave. You tell them how you do. You teach them. Let it be last thing you teach.
Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune, so no one will suspect.
You see? You make you believe you brave, like Mrs. Anna, and you whistle. Now, now, you're so school teacher. How brave?
Marie, please hurry down to the ship and tell Captain Orton that we will not be sailing today, after all.
Yay!
Silence! There's no reason for doing of this demonstration. A school teacher realizing her duty, for which I pay her exorbitant monthly salary of 25 pounds. Further, this is unscientific behavior for bedroom of dying king. Chulalongkorn, rise. Suppose you are king. Is there nothing you would do? What?
I would make proclamations.
Yes, yes, yes.
First, I would proclaim for coming New Year's. Boat races.
Why would you have boat races during New Year celebrations?
I like boat races. And Father, I would like to make second proclamation.
Go on, make it.
Regarding custom of bowing to king in fashion of lowly tone, I do not believe this is good thing, causing embarrassing fatigue of body, degrading experience for soul, etc., etc., etc. You are angry with me, my father?
Why do you ask question? If you are king, you are king. Do not ask question of sick man. This proclamation against bowing, I believe to be your fault.
Oh, I hope so, Your Majesty. I do hope so.
Rise up!
Up, two lines, like soldiers. It has been said that there shall be no bowing or showing respect to king. It has been said by one who has been trained for royal government.
However, no bowing like so does not mean you do not show respect to king. You will stand shoulders square, chin high like this. You will bow to me, the gentlemen only bending their waist. The lady will make this as an era.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight. The show went wonderfully. Each time we do it, it gets a little bit tighter, and they did a fantastic job tonight. We're very, very proud of them, Mrs. Wallace and I, and all the teachers. Thank you very much for coming out tonight to help us. And thank you. I'm going to do my very best to make sure that I'm accurate in my thanks, and if I inadvertently leave somebody out, please. It is inadvertent, and I will apologize profusely if I do so. Here we go. I would like to start by pointing to our sets. We have Greek columns that were donated to us by the Vancouver Playhouse. But thanks to the help of Mr. McDowell, they needed to be transported, and he very graciously donated his time and equipment to do so. So, Mr. McDowell, thank you very, very much. Is a backdrop donated to us by Mr. Fatkin at the high school. Every time we have a production, Mr. Fox and Mr. Angel and Mr. Fatkin always help us out with everything they can. We're very, very lucky that way, and what's rewarding for us, Mrs. Wallace and myself, is that when they put on musicals down at the high school, we go down and see our former Alex Hope students in these musicals in lead roles and in all sorts of roles, but it's great to see them continuing what they began here. So thank you again to the high school people. The rest of our set was partly donation and part help. Mr. Fladmark came in and he built our platforms. He had those panels back there from Music Man. Unfortunately, they didn't reach to the top of the column, so Mr. Fladmark came in and built us some step platforms, and we thank him very much for that. And Mrs. Savaston helped us out by bringing in our wings, our wing curtains here to make the entrances and exits nice and clean, and that helped us out a lot. And Mrs. Savaston did an awful lot of the set work as well. So thank you to Mrs. Savaston. She has helped out with our stage crew, who have done a fantastic job for us tonight. Moving forward, we have quite a beautiful display of costume making that was a result of hours and hours and hours of work. Last night we brought up Mona Robertson and Melanie Robson and Lisa Fox. Are you in the audience here? Any of those three people? Way over in the corner. Stand up, please. They were helped out by, there was Mrs. Loftus helped them out, as well as, maybe you can help me with this one a little bit. Oh yes, I can't forget, Mrs. Kingman, are you over there somewhere? This is Alexis Fladmark's grandmother. Are you here? Oh, please stand up. Mrs. Kingman. One of our bouquets is for you, Mrs. Kingman, so come on over, please. Could we have one of these people? Caleb. We have to give thanks to Mrs. Lori Shopland. Is she around here? Oh, there we go. Lori has helped us out with those posters, those very striking posters that we had. She took care of that. She took care of our concession out in the lobby, and we sure appreciate everything that you did. Mrs. Urquhart, if she is, are you here? Oh, come on over. Mrs. Urquhart was coordinator at we have Lori Young here in the audience tonight. Oh, the props for musicals are an amazing thing. You think, okay, well, you need this many fans, you need this many that, and it is such a task. It is probably equal to building a set because it's so many finicky little details. We were in dire need of some help, and Lori, a good friend of Mrs. Wallace, came and helped us out the other day. So all the sun and clouds and all these things were put together by Lori Young. Lori, please stand up.
Right here is Lori's sister. We're looking all over for Shake's Lounge. How many people have one of those? Anyway, Lori brought us that too.
I will. The next part of this, if you don't mind, indulge me here, please. I'm going to just read down through some lists so that I don't leave anybody off here. On our props, as I mentioned, we had Mrs. Young. Mrs. Monroe did painting of our ship, the side of our ship. Mrs. Berry provided us with the trunk that was on the ship. Mrs. Audie provided us with a Buddha. Mrs. Meese helped out with our props and did lots of painting for us. Mrs. Kerr and Mrs. Nelson did our snowflakes on the poles, which were very effective in the ballet. And so could we ask those people to stand if you're in the audience, please? Mrs. Wallace, why don't you stand here? Actually, it's going to be easier. Okay, next, we would like to thank Mrs. Lasky for the, she was another person that helped us out with our, all the, what would you call them?
They're crowns.
The crowns that all the children had. And Mrs. Southern helped us organize the, our changing rooms, and that was very good. Thank you. Now, I will let you read the green room.
I get to say something. Okay, now the green room. Now the green room, these moms, okay, I asked for the toughest moms. You cannot get this job unless you're tough. And they were all very, very good because to keep 50 kids back there quiet and 25, 30 come on at once, you do not know how hard this is. These guys did such an awesome job. So I want all of them to stand up as I call their names because they did a great job. Audrey Savison she was like the stage manager back there and getting them all going. So she was fantastic. Leah McDowell. Karen Finley, and Karen Finley, every day she said, oh, you need to eat. You haven't eaten anything. She'd come and bring me lunch, and she'd bring me coffee, and she's doing all this.
You didn't say that to me.
Stand up. Stand up for me. And your mom's first name is Anna. So, yeah, Anna, how can we forget? I also have Christina Linton, who is actually a student she has done all kinds of theater in Vancouver professionally. And she's been helping back there too. So if you could stand up for me, please. I don't know where you are. Here, are you there? Where's that? Okay. And also a very good little friend of mine, Ben Ferguson, who's at Walnut Grove, and he's with a great young man there. He helped Mr. Branswell and I with our camp this summer. And he volunteered to come every day at lunch. He'd even missed school to come and help us. So he's cut classes to come here, and he's been here every night. He's right over there in the corner. Who's a good friend of mine, whose son was Ben, who was Mootad actually yesterday. She comes to my spinning class at the gym, and she also is a great help behind the stage. She was dressing Anna, and she did an amazing job because Anna had like 2 seconds to get changed. So, you know, Karen Peacock, wherever you are, will you stand up for us, please? And then the makeup, I'll just quickly call everybody's names and just stand up. We'll clap at the end. Shelley Guy, I have Ronnie Gill. You have to stand up. I have Mrs. Twist, Mrs. Engel. It's Lori Reddings, and it's Bronwyn Nelson, Lisa Rivas, Mary Sharafi. You know what? It's because I'm getting old. My eyesight is breathing here. Okay. Danielle Watt, Mrs. Walsh, and Mrs. Audie. All those stand up for us. Said, you know, if we forgot anybody, we're so sorry, but really something like this, you know, you look at it and look, gosh, it looks really good. But if you just look at it, you think, oh, that's easy, you just whip that up, you know, but it actually takes so much effort and hours of time, but it's very worth it, I believe. So it was great. Okay, so I'll let you take over.
The next thing before it slips in my mind, I'll just mention we have videotaped both performances, both evening performances, last night's and tonight's, and we will be putting a little thing in the newsletter, a order form if you'd like to order a DVD from either of those performances. That will be available to you. Thank you, and just one, and of course our last thanks go to Mrs. Wallace. Mrs. Wallace, all of this time is donated by Mrs. Wallace. Those of you that know her have seen her here well, I guess for some of us for 10 years now. Her son Philip was in our the first musical that Mrs. Wallace and I did together, which was The Pirates of Penzance, and now Philip is in his second year of university. And Mrs. Wallace was here this year when we were doing started our audition process, started I guess at the end of January, and she's been here probably almost every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and at lunchtime putting in rehearsals. It has taken a tremendous amount of work. We have this production tonight because of the work that Mrs. Wallace has done, the sacrifice that she has made, and she's a fantastic drama teacher. She has, you know, boundless energy and infinite patience, and she really cares for the kids, and they know it. And the product that comes out of what we all do together is quite amazing. We owe so much to her, and you know, both Mrs. Wallace and I are so proud of these kids tonight, but this would not be happening without Mrs. Wallace, so let's give.
It's very difficult to know what to say, and I guess what I'm going to leave you with is just all the skills these kids have learned, and I think they've grown as people. And I saw just an example. They're all great. I'm just going to leave one example. Caden, who was our king last night. It's really funny because, we started working. You start with the king, and he's trying to be someone who is from Thailand. And then he comes out last night, and I'm looking at him, I go, you look like you're 20 years old. It's just, he had grown that much, in his part. And you see them evolve, and you just know that they learned so much, and you hope you've enriched them a little bit so they leave, and they have something they didn't have before. But I think that what they've learned in dance, what they've learned in movement, what they've learned in feeling, and we all feel it, I always say, we all have emotions, and you have to live it. And they did that. It was a lot of hard work for all of them, and I credit them with their hard work and their commitment to the team process. So they were very professional, and they were very grown up. So I just had a marvelous time, and I thank you for your children. It was great.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud of what you've seen tonight. And I just have to echo some sentiments that were said tonight here. And I really believe that the greatest ally of the school is the parents that we bring to the school. And what you've seen here tonight is just a remarkable work on behalf of the parents in bringing this all together. However, we thanked a lot of people here. We really did. However, the person that brought it all together, though, the person that had the creative idea to go forward with this play, and that belongs to Mr. Branswell. We should give him a round of applause.
That's all. Thank you very much.